Video game heroes tend to be the picture of good health at the start of their games, all muscle tone and great teeth and clear skin. Jealous. That's why it's all the more tragic when they end up canonically enduring debilitating disease, smashed bones, and severed limbs, all in the name of completing their heroic business. I can't imagine the job of freelance hero comes with health insurance either. Ugh, that probably counts as a pre-existing condition now. Just ponder these times being the hero was seriously bad for your health.
See that plane? You won't see any more very soon. That's probably the last one out of this country. Full of rich people. Only money and connections can get you out.
If you thought a 4-hour delay to your EasyJet flight was a bad start to your holiday, then spare a thought for your chosen lead character in Far Cry 2. Within minutes of stepping off the plane in an unnamed African country, on the cab ride to your hotel, you contract malaria, the symptoms of which include headaches, nausea, and the screen going a bit yellow around the edges. If your screen goes yellow around the edges, be sure to seek medical attention immediately. When you regain consciousness in your hotel room, the notorious arms dealer who you've come here to kill, the Jackal, is just hanging out, checking out photos and quoting Nietzsche at you.
Life itself is will to power, nothing else matters.
Seriously, dude, I'm quite unwell. Can we skip first year philosophy? The rest of the game involves you not just tracking down the Jackal, but also managing your debilitating malaria infection by popping medication at every opportunity. Fail to take the medication and you'll find yourself expiring painfully somewhere out in the African bush and wondering why you didn't book 2 weeks all-inclusive in Maldives instead. The good news is, with proper treatment, a malaria patient can expect to make a full recovery. The bad news is, when you choose an ending and complete the game, you're going to die either way.
The only way this is going to work is if we see it the whole way through to the end. Every cell of this cancer has to be destroyed. That includes you and me.
Still, in the words of Friedrich Nietzsche, one has to pay dearly for... Okay, philosophy, fine.
You are to find Suleiman and locate the stolen file in order to save mankind from a disaster of unprecedented proportions.
In so many bits of zombie fiction, the hero finds themselves mysteriously immune to the zombie plague. Not Kyle Crane from Dying Light. Yes, the strapping hero of Dying Light, who parachutes into zombie-infested Harran to retrieve a stolen file, gets immediately mobbed by both bandits and zombies, leading to him being bitten and infected. What's more, you get the poor chump who has to save you killed as well.
Get the door open!
A+, Kyle. Top heroing. For the remainder of Dying Light, a medication called Antizen is the only thing keeping Kyle Crane running, jumping, and drop-kicking zombies in the face. I assume he could do that before, and it's not just a weird side effect of the drug. You'd have thought Kyle Crane's brush with the zombie disease would allow him to understand the plight of the other infected survivors. No such luck as he burns an entire crate full of Antizen after magnanimously taking a dose for himself. Are we sure this guy's the hero? Shouldn't we be playing as that guy who died at the start?
Jade, this is Crane. Do you copy?
Crane, how much Antizen did you get?
Listen, Rice wanted me to... Look, he screwed us, okay? I only got 5 vials.
Surprise, surprise, a bit later on, an outbreak of the virus occurs in the tower where the survivors are trying to scratch out a life for themselves. Because of a lack of Antizen, a bunch of people die and entire floors of the tower block have to be quarantined.
Do you have the Antizen? Give it to me.
So what happened?
One person turned and had a couple of other people trapped. We could have sealed off that one apartment, but Brecken wanted to save as many lives as possible.
Good job, Kyle, you stupid parkour jerkhole.
It went bad. Somebody had to make the call, and now we've lost the entire floor, including a couple of kids.
Being the hero of Dying Light, bad for your health, even worse for everybody else's.
Batman's ludicrously strong physique is the result of decades of physical training, extreme conditioning, and probably a very boring diet. So after his third meal of raw eggs, chicken and brown rice this week, Batman must be a bit miffed when in Batman Arkham City, he's captured and injected with some of the Joker's Titan formula-infected blood.
There's a teeny little bit of me in you too, Bats. Oh, come on. Don't tell me it's not what you've always wanted.
And do we think the Joker took the time to check they had compatible blood types? I very much doubt it. This isn't just the sort of illness that can be shaken off with a good night's sleep, and let's face it, when was the last time Batman had one of those anyway?
I'm listening.
Is someone feeling a little down?
What do you want?
Oh, Bats, cheer up. It won't kill you. Oops.
So Bats remains infected for the rest of Arkham City and the whole of Arkham Knight as well, meaning he actually spends more of the Arkham series with a gross mutagenic disease than he does healthy. So he wasn't even at full strength in those games. If I was one of the supervillains, I'd be pretty embarrassed right now, particularly if I was the Riddler. Just generally. By Arkham Knight, Batman's infection has worsened, meaning that even though the Joker has died from his own infection, he's still somehow hanging around inside Batman's head, making annoying small talk.
This is it, Bats. Can you feel the rush of that delicious toxin burning through your veins, creeping into that demented mind of ours? I sure can.
Man, I will never complain about having a headache again. But it's not all bad news. By the end of Arkham Knight, Batman's worked out the unconventional cure for purging the Joker from his psyche. Punching him repeatedly in the face? That's your answer to everything, Batman. Still, it is cheaper than therapy.
Hello?
Hey, it's Ethan.
Oh, hey. You alright? You just disappeared the other night.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good.
According to the wording of wedding vows, if your spouse goes missing and then turns up later on in a haunted house in Louisiana, you are contractually obliged to go and rescue them, even if it means having to fight a family full of backwater zombie people. Hey, tradition is tradition. And that's exactly the situation in which Resident Evil 7 hero Ethan Winters finds himself at the start of the game. Sure, it's a heroic move turning up to rescue his wife Mia from the clutches of the Baker family, but you've really got to start questioning how sensible a move it is when, within half an hour of being there, Ethan has had his hand cut off with a chainsaw, been punched unconscious, been force-fed who knows what, had a knife jammed in his face, and most likely had his foot chopped off with a shovel. Wow, this vacation really cost you an arm and a leg. Hey, Ethan? Ethan. Oh, he bled to death. Anyway, you'd think after all that, the game would let Ethan get on with some actual heroing in peace, which is where you're wrong, because he's then variously attacked with chainsaws, thrown downstairs, and imprisoned in some kind of gross zombie cement.
Ethan.
To be honest, all this is just typical when you go out wearing a white shirt. You're gonna have to throw that out, Ethan.
Meryl.
Is that you? What happened to your face?
In Metal Gear Solid 4, protagonist Snake is far from a picture of health, unless that picture was on a healthy living poster illustrating all the ways how not to live a long and healthy life. Don't smoke, the poster would say, and definitely don't be full of advanced nanomachines that accelerate the aging process, ushering you towards an early grave.
The wrinkled skin, the hardened arteries. Your early aging symptoms look like classic Werner's syndrome.
Snake is contending with both of these health-harming issues throughout the events of Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots, to the point where he's given about 1 year to live.
Judging by how rapidly the aging has progressed, I'd say a year at best, right?
1 year? I won't even get through all these cutscenes. What old Snake really didn't need on top of all this was to belly crawl down a hallway lined with microwave-emitting energy weapons. But then guess what happened? Yes, Old Snake was forced to belly crawl down a hallway lined with microwave-emitting energy weapons, designed as a security countermeasure to keep intruders from getting to a critical AI server room. Cue a long, agonising, interactive crawl down a hallway, during which Old Snake is cooked from the inside out by electromagnetic radiation, sustaining life-changing injuries to a powerful operatic theme. If you weren't smoking before, Snake, you're smoking now.
A famous explorer once said that the extraordinary is in what we do, not who we are. I'd finally set out to make my mark, to find adventure.
To be fair to Lara Croft in the 2013 reboot of Tomb Raider, she doesn't so much answer the call of adventure as have adventure skip the call, come find her in person, and immediately sink the ship that she's on. Yeah, thanks a lot, adventure. Still, good news, Lara survives. Bad news, Lara is immediately smacked in the head and kidnapped. And then set on fire and dropped on a big spike. It doesn't bode super well for the rest of Lara's adventure, you might think, and you'd be right, because thanks to the amount of time she spends falling off things in this game, Lara Croft spends more time in the air than the pilot of a Boeing 747. At one point, the game just sort of runs out of ideas to torment Lara further and just has her fall into a big pool of blood. Which, I mean, I don't know the official health advice for big pools of blood, but I'm going to go ahead and guess that it's not fall into them and then swim around a bit.
I don't think she'll survive the fall.
Oh well, maybe this is just to cement Lara's reputation as a badass action star. How about we check in with her in the sequel, Rise of the Tomb Raider? How's your health, Lars? Right. Maybe let the call of adventure go through to voicemail next time, Lara?
You'd think that hunting Colossi would keep you relatively fit and healthy. It's a lot of fresh air and exercise, right? And at the start of Beast Climbing Simulator Shadow of the Colossus, hero Wanda really is looking the picture of health with his strong limbs, upright posture and thick glossy mane.
You're describing the horse?
Wait, you don't play as the horse? Why does everyone love this game? Alright, clearly the human in the frame is in fine fettle too, as you'd expect of a determined young adventurer setting out on an epic quest to return the soul of deceased maiden Mono back to her body. And if you doubt how young and robust he is, just watch how nimbly he scampers up this giant stone colossus that, when defeated, will get him one step closer to bringing Mono back. However, what Wanda doesn't know is that every time he topples a colossus, a little piece of an evil spirit called Dormin flows into him like a gang of eels bursting out of your chest in reverse. Which, it turns out, is about as good for you as it sounds. Towards the end of the game, poor Wanda's adventure has taken a spectacular toll, as the corruption he inhales, like so much car exhaust, has left him pallid, milky-eyed, drawing ragged breaths and barely able to lift himself off the ground. Or to put up much of a fight when an ancient order determined to prevent Dormin from being reawakened shoots Wanda through the leg and stabs him in the chest. In its late stages, this condition can lead to being transformed into a ghoulish shadow beast, one that for the sake of all humanity must be sealed away in quarantine in the depths of an ancient temple. Which is the same technique we employ at Outsidexbox when an employee has a contagious cold. Did you just cough?
No.
Right, to the temple with you. Help me grab his legs!
Thank you very much for watching this video, and while we can't claim that these videos here are going to be beneficial to your health, we think you might enjoy them. So there's stuff from us up here and stuff from Outside Extra down here. And you can also subscribe using the subscribe orb, which also maybe will make you happy. No medical claims for that one either. But enjoy!